So this guy says that last year, 2024, his girlfriend's uncle came to visit them. He doesn't live that far away, but he does live around 3 hours away from where they are. The uncle owns a lot of cabins that are out in the middle of nowhere, and he rents them out from time to time. During the visit, the uncle had told his girlfriend and the girlfriend's dad that he was gonna leave for a few months out of the country, and they were entrusting them with the keys to the cabins. The uncle tells them that they can go whenever they want and just check up on the property from time to time because he doesn't plan on renting them out, being that he was going to be out of the country and he just didn't want to deal with anything that would happen. But yeah, he let them know, hey, you can go whenever you want, you can go with your friends, it's not a big problem. Around that same time, he explains that he was going through really rough time at school and at home. At school, he needed to turn in this really important project that would make him graduate. However, he couldn't get any peace at home because he had gotten into a fight with his roommate. He was telling all this to his girlfriend, and that's when the girlfriend's dad overheard his situation and said, hey, maybe you can go stay in one of the cabins so that you can finish your project. They explained to him that the only thing he might not have would be the Wi-Fi, but honestly, he's like, I wanted that. I needed to unplug. I needed to focus on this project, so I took them up on the offer. He ends up driving up to the cabin, and the cabins were actually really far away from where he lived, but again, he said he needed that space. He needed to focus. When he finally makes it into the cabin, he notices that there's no other cabins like close by to that one. There's no little stores, like there's nowhere for him to go and like get anything. Even his phone wouldn't get like very little signal. There were moments where the phone would connect and he would get a whole bunch of texts and calls, and then it would disconnect and his phone was basically had no service at all. When he gets into the cabin, he ends up opening all the windows just to get some fresh air flowing. He said that the cabin smelled a little bit old, like old wood, but he could tell nobody had been there in a little while. None of that really mattered, honestly, because he just really wanted to focus on his work. So he pulled out his laptop, started working, but he doesn't realize what moment he accidentally fell asleep on his laptop. He actually woke up because his phone started ringing, and when he got his phone, it was like an unknown number. He almost didn't answer because again, he didn't know whose number that was, but he still did. And when he picked up the phone, he said that it was a very weird, strange voice, very slowly saying,
"Don't forget to close the windows."
He got chills running down his spine, and when he turned to look at the windows, he realized that he indeed had left the windows open before he had fallen asleep. He immediately gets up and closes all the windows, but he still didn't understand who could have made that phone call because the only people who knew that he was there was his girlfriend, the girlfriend's dad. They wouldn't prank call him like this, and it also wasn't their phone number that had called him. He started to think that maybe somebody was observing him, somebody was watching him, but there was no other like cabins or houses or places around him that somebody could hide behind to do that. And again, nobody knew that he was there. It's not like he made the crazy loudest sound, so that really threw him off. He was so scared that he grabbed all of his belongings, closed that cabin up, and left. He ended up going to a hotel for the night where he did end up finishing his project. He explains that he never told his girlfriend or the girlfriend's dad what happened, but every once in a while his girlfriend's like, oh, we should go to the cabin one night, and he's like, I don't know how many times she's gonna ask me where I'm telling her no, but I don't even want to tell her what happened up there. But what he does know is that he does not want to go back there. But what do you guys think happened?